What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we are working on a 2009 Toyota Prius, and we're going to be doing a compressor replacement on this. So I want to let y'all know right now that you are going to have to get a set of the hybrid vehicle gloves, because there are about 1,000 volts that runs through one of these right here, and I'll put a link to those in the description below. But we're going with a Toyota original compressor. Right there is part number 88370-47010. But let me gather some tools and everything, and then I will show y'all how to pull the plug on one of these to make sure you discharge the power. And normally what I do whenever I pull the service plug, I'll let it sit for about 15-20 minutes before I do anything else, just so I can make sure all the power has dissipated. First thing we want to do is actually pull the service plug. So you have this mat right here in the bottom, take it out and pull this piece right here out, and then underneath here I'm moving y'all all around. Here is your hybrid battery right here. Over here on the left, that's going to be your service plug. So you want to pull up on it like this, and then you want to pull out, and then there's your service plug. Then next I'm going to disconnect the battery on here, and it's right here on the right side. I'm going to do that just so it does dissipate all the charge and everything, because I want to be as safe as possible while I'm doing this. So it's just a 10mm that holds this right here. I'm going to take the 10mm off and set it to the side, and then I'm going to wait about 20 minutes. Right down there underneath that radiator hose is your AC compressor, and we're going to have to go from the bottom of this car to get it. And these are the lines I'm talking about right here. They go to your AC compressor. You can see they go down and around, and it goes over there. I know y'all can't see that, but once we get underneath there, I will show y'all what it looks like. But we have one line coming in on that side, and then one line coming in on this side. You have this one and that one. So I do have it on the lift. There is no freon in it now, and we're going to lift it up. I'm going to shut the hood a little bit, but we're going to lift it up and climb underneath there so I can show y'all what everything looks like and how we're going to get to it. And this job only calls for like 3 hours to do, with the evac and the replacement of the compressor. Now you can see we got a better view of the AC compressor. It is right here. It is right there in front of the oil filter. But we need to take this cover off just to get better access. And there's some bolts along the front and then up on the sides over here. So I'm going to pull this out real quick, and I'll show you exactly where all the bolts are. I wasn't able to get the cover off because the bolts are so rusted that it broke the actual clips on here, and they're just spinning around in a circle. So we're going to work around it. But if you can get yours off, it just makes it easier to get it out if you can move this right here. But I got a flashlight up there, kind of pointed at there so y'all can see everything. I took these bottom two bolts off, and I took the bolt out of this line out already. This is a 10mm, and the bolts that go into the compressor itself are 12mm. So you may be careful, because you could have a little bit of residual pressure. You see how much come out? And I swear I felt like a chunk of something come out of there too. Alright, so we got that line right there out of the way. I'm trying to see if y'all can see up in there. There's an O-ring on there. So we're going to push this to the side somewhere if I can. There we go. And now we got this bolt right there, this line, and then there's another bolt up in here somewhere right behind the line as well. So there should be 4 bolts mounted to the engine, and 2 lines, and both of the lines are 10mm. So I'm gonna get rest of these off, and whenever I get ready to pull it down, I'll show y'all what it looks like. Actually, I made a mistake in telling y'all there was 4 bolts. There's only 3. I forgot about that on these, but you will have this connector or wire hold down clamp. You just pull these up and slide them out, and then there's one more. Let's see if I can show y'all up. It's kind of hard to show y'all that one, but there's one up there as well. I'm going to try to reach up in there and get that, but we have everything off on the compressor. I'm going to pull that off real quick, and then I got to go up top again, and we're going to disconnect it from the inverter. So I went ahead and took the clips out of this right here, and this is what they look like. They're like these little screw clips. You just throw them out with a Phillips head real easy, and then once you do that, you can pull them out, and this should come right out. Here is your connector right here. We'll have another one of these clips. Pull it off if I can. Let me set y'all down for a minute. Like I was saying, there's another one of these clips right here. This one is tight. Let me disconnect this right here. There is a safety clip. Push it back down. There we go. Now let's see if I can get this out. Okay, and I just lowered it onto the ground. Here it is. So this is the new one. I'm going to pull it out, compare it to the old one just to make sure everything is the same. Three wires look the same. Bolt holes. Everything looks to be identical to each other. So now we're going to start putting everything back in. Alright, so it is the next day because we had to order some special oil for this compressor because it is a hybrid. This is what we got right here. See how big it is in my hand? It's only 8 ounces. Alright. This right here was $220 for 8 ounces. So you need to justify the cost of this if you're doing a AC compressor on a Prius, because like I said, we had to special order that from Toyota, and for that little 8 ounce can was $217. So, and it only takes 4 ounces, so you can use that for 2 of these, but I don't know how often people are changing these. This one right here has about 110,000 miles and it needed it, but all I did was took this cap right here out and poured it directly into that port right there, and it would have took more, but what I was reading about the oil is it is a deionized oil, and if you put a regular PAG oil in this, it can actually turn this compressor into a battery and cause it to explode. So take caution when you're doing this. But now I'm going to lift her back up and start putting her back together. I'm going to leave these plugs on just because I don't want any of this oil to come out, seeing how expensive it is. Went ahead and put the new compressor in, got the lines fed up through there for the power line. Then we got all the hoses on. I did put a new O-rings on there as well, and that's just as simple as getting a pick, taking the old ones off, putting the new ones on there, and make sure you put a little bit of the compressor oil around them so they slip in and you don't tear them. But now we're going to go back up top and hook it up. So the other clip I got from the bottom was down there. Then I just plugged in this one and then pushed the connector in. Make sure you push the safety tab down. Now, next step is to go ahead and pull a vacuum on this. Let me grab my vacuum pump, and then I'll bring y'all back so I can get to pulling a vacuum. And just so everybody knows, your high side's right here and your low side is beside the power wire for the compressor. And it's right there. So if you've seen any of my other videos with AC stuff, it's the same process, but if you haven't, I'll go over it again. So hooked up the high pressure side and the low pressure side, hooked up the vacuum pump through the yellow line, and we turned it on, let it kind of pull some of the stuff out of the line right here. Then we just opened up the valves right here and let it pull the vacuum, and we're going to let it run for about 15 or 20 minutes, and you want it to go down to at least -25 just to make sure that it's getting everything out of there. And once you have it running for about 15-20 minutes, then what we'll do is we'll close these off, turn off the vacuum pump, and let it sit here for about another 15 or 20 minutes just to make sure there's no leaks. And if you see it go down over 20 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 inches of mercury, that's fine. But anything more than 5, you're gonna have a massive leak in there, or a major leak. I shouldn't say massive, but a major leak, and you need to find out where that's coming from. So we're gonna let this run for, like I said, about 15-20 minutes, and then let it sit for about another 15-20 minutes. And while I'm doing this, I normally like to go get me some lunch or something. Got the vacuum pump turned off now, and as you can see, they're at about 28-29 right there. That one's pretty much pegged out. And all I did was just close the valves off, then I turned the machine off. That way we can make sure we pull everything out and that nothing's leaking through this line. But we'll let it sit for about another 15-20 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna go grab me some lunch while this is sitting. That way I don't have to just sit here, and I don't really have anything else to work on for the time being. But when I get back, I'll tell you how much freon goes in this, and then we'll get putting everything back together. Alright, so we have it running now, and I put 1 pound of freon in it. That's what it calls for. Pressures are at about 35 and 140. It's a little lower than I like to see them be, but this is the first time I've ever done a compressor and put freon in a hybrid system, so it may be a little lower, but you can probably hear the compressor going right there. That's because the electric engine is running, not the main gas engine. But we're going to check to see what the temperature is on the inside. She is going pretty cold right now. So the engine just started up. Temperatures are down in the 20s. That is great. That's exactly where I'd like to see it, especially on like a 75 to 78 degree day. But this is probably going to wrap up this video right here. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section. I'll get to them as soon as I can. If I did anything wrong, please let me know, because I will fix that in the comment section as well. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, y'all remember, torque is tight, and y'all have a great day.